early morning video. I'm about to go on a run, because they have like a little track like right around the corner from where I live at. So I'm gonna run maybe about a mile or something. Just getting in shape, staying in shape. You know, always getting prepared. Just seeing the videos of me. Boxing a little bit. Always got to stay in shape. Just in case you have to sleep somebody. You know, just in case you have to, dislocate somebody's jaw. But at the end of the day, I'm always ready. But nevertheless, speaking of smoke, I want to talk about the situation with Terrell Owens and Stephen A. Smith. And shout out to Ticket TV. Ticket TV has really done a good job, like highlighting and covering this story. you know, and Ticket TV is the future of media. As a athlete who transitioned into media, and just seeing his growth over the years, and how he's elevated and evolved. Ticket is going to be one of the premier guys out there. So shout out to Ticket TV. Um, as far as Terrell Owens and Stephen A. Smith go, uh, Terrell Owens, I listened to his interview on All the Smoke, and basically he was just saying if he sees Stephen A. Smith, there's a possibility that it could get physical. Me myself, um, I don't like Stephen A. Smith's chances against T.O. T.O. is 49-50, and he is always in great shape. He takes care of himself. That's one thing I can say. And I don't know if you guys know, Terrell Owens is a world class athlete. Um, I've seen Terrell Owens play basketball, and he could hoop. You know, um, this was damn near 20 years ago, if I'm not mistaken. But Terrell Owens was at a 24-hour fitness, and this 24-hour fitness, by the way, is still, it's still there. It was a 24-hour fitness off of Hesperian in San Leandro, California, where Bayfair Mall is. And I've been a member off and on with 24-hour fitness for over 20 years. But nevertheless, I happened to go in there that day, and T.O. was playing hoop. And I instantly knew it was him. And I said, okay, so T.O. playing hoop. Let me see something. Let me see what he got. And I could tell you right now, T.O., if he wouldn't have played professional football, he would have had a career in the NBA. This dude was doing reverse dunks. He was doing two-handed dunks. He was hitting jump shots. He was hitting three-pointers. I'm talking about T.O. can ball. And he even had Magic Johnson's stamp of approval. Even Magic Johnson said he could have played in the NBA, which I don't know why T.O. didn't try to play in the NBA while he was playing football. I think he entertained the thought, but I think behind the scenes there was a little interference with him trying to play uh, in the NBA, because he did say he would have played in the NBA if he would have got the opportunity. And I don't know why Ice Cube wouldn't let T.O. play in the Big Three. I think that's a mistake Ice Cube made by not letting T.O. play in the Big Three when T.O. asked to play in the Big Three. Because T.O. is a hell of a basketball player. I seen it. As, shout out to Craig Robinson from the Pineapple Spring. I seen it. He can ball. He can ball. I was like that. Now, keep in mind, you guys, this is before the camera phone era. This is long before the camera phone. People still on the flip phone. Some people still, still rocking beepers. This is before cell phones were common. Oh, appreciate it. So this was before cell phones were common. So I seen T.O. playing, and then I was like, wow. But word travels fast, and it got out. It hit the streets. And people was talking about that T.O. could ball. And the thing is, with T.O., these were just regular people. you know T.O., one thing about T.O., I give T.O. credit. T.O. has always walked around by himself. No security. He just came in the gym. He played after he was done. He shook hands. He didn't, keep in mind there wasn't no pictures, people asking to take pictures. He shook hands. He spoke briefly. He walked out of there, got in his car, and left. No trouble. Nobody gave him no trouble. No dirty tactics on the basketball court. It was all good. No, T.O. could play basketball. I'm talking about he really could hoop. I'm talking about he was like he's better than Metcalf and a few other people. Nah, T.O. could ball. I'm talking about he really could have played in the NBA. He really literally could have played. I'm talking about he was doing reverse dunks on the 10 feet court. At 24-hour fitness, it's a regulation court. It's 10 feet. It wasn't no 9 feet court or 8 point. Nah, he was doing regular reverse dunks, two-hand dunks, layups, all that stuff. Hitting 3-pointers, hitting jump shots, taking it to the rack. I'm talking about T.O. could ball. Keep in mind, Donovan McNabb played basketball too. He was a two-sport athlete at Syracuse. So, that's why I'm saying if him and Stephen A. Smith ever do a celebrity boxing match, Stephen A. Smith has no chance. He is going to T.O. is going to hurt him. And like I said, that boy stay in shape. T.O. stay in shape. He stay working out. I mean, he still, you know what I'm saying? He's still yoked up and stuff. He stay in shape at 49, 50. You seen what he did to that dude and you see what he did to dude at CVS. He hit him with a 3-piece and he dropped him. And you could tell by how T.O. got in his stance that he took boxing lessons, that he knows something about boxing. So Stephen A. Smith, and like T.O. said, Stephen A. Smith, he be talking all that tough talk on his, on his podcast and then on TV. But I can tell you right now, Stephen A. Smith don't want no smoke if you really come at him aggressive. I didn't even come at him aggressive when I saw him in Los Angeles. I just walked up to him and said, "Hey, man, do you really believe that shit that you be saying?" And he ran off. I don't want to talk. I don't want to talk. I mean, he just walked away. Like, I wasn't there to fight Stephen A. Smith. I wasn't go fight Stephen A. Smith, man. We was at the JW Marriott. Man, you think I was finna go to man? You think I was finna get arrested and go to jail in LA? And I'm not from LA and I'm not affiliated with a gang? Man, that's a recipe. Man, come on, man. I just wanted to talk to the dude. So Stephen A. Smith ain't really that dude. And if anybody seen what he did when I confronted him, that'll tell you all you needed to know about him. He didn't want to, I just wanted to have a conversation with him. Because at the time, he was out of control with, some of the stuff he was saying. And T.O., it was kind of funny when you watched all the smoke interview. He said a lot of things that I had said about Stephen A. Smith. He ain't the same dude that he used to be. And listen, T.O. has said some stuff that I haven't liked. But man, as a football player, T.O. was he was a phenomenal football player. He was one of the best wide receivers I ever seen. He could do it all. Every once in a while he did have butterfingers. But he did catch that ball that Steve Young threw to him to, beat Green Bay. So he made it for it. And then plus that Super Bowl versus the Patriots. Unfortunately, Philadelphia just couldn't make plays when they needed it. But T.O., he balled out in that game. Had they won that game, T.O. would have been the he would have been the Super Bowl MVP. I'm talking about he was wearing the Pacers. I mean, excuse me, he was wearing the Patriots. Uh, Man, he was wearing their cornerbacks down. He was wearing the defensive ends down. But unfortunately, the Patriots just made plays down the stretch that secured them the game. But I can tell you this much: the Eagles didn't lose because of T.O. T.O. had one of the best games that I had ever saw. You could have made an argument T.O. could have been the MVP in a losing effort. He balled out. He didn't catch no touchdowns, but man, he just balled out. Uh, he was a T.O. could do it all. He was a deep threat receiver. He could catch and run. I mean, he could do it all. He was that good. I know a lot of people say Randy Moss was better than Terrell Owens. The thing about Randy Moss was like a deep threat receiver. Randy Moss wasn't the type of dude that like contact. So, but Randy Moss was a hell of a receiver though. Randy Moss was a hell of a receiver, and T.O. it was a travesty that T.O. had to wait his third year eligibility before they put him in the Hall of Fame. He should have been a first ballot Hall of Famer without a shadow of a doubt, but people played politics with him, and I think T.O. as a football player, I think he was unfairly misjudged. I think T.O. just had this passion to win, and he really wanted to win. I mean, he wasn't no different from Tom Brady. And a lot of times when T.O. would get on his teammates and yell at his teammates, it was because to a certain degree it came from him. And you know what I mean by that. Where if it's Tom Brady or Troy Aikman or Peyton Manning or, guys like that, they get respected. Now he did mess up with the whole thing, what he said about Jeff Garcia. He shouldn't have did that, when they asked him about, what Jeff Garcia was into. And in case you guys don't know, when T.O. played for the 49ers, there was a rumor going around about Jeff Garcia about what he was into. Basically, what Skip Bayless said about Troy Aikman and hinted about Troy Aikman. They was hinting about Jeff Garcia. A lot of people believe that it was a long-standing rumor about Jeff Garcia. And T.O., unfortunately, he made the mistake of, when they asked him about it, T.O. basically kind of confirmed it, which, that's Jeff Garcia's business, whatever he into. Jeff Garcia, if I'm not mistaken, he married, he got a kid, even though whatever. So T.O. did make some mistakes, but I do think his passion to win was there. Without a shadow of a doubt, I believe that T.O. was a guy that was trying to win. He never, once again, T.O. was like Allen Iverson. When he played, he gave it his all. And I do think that he was unfairly misjudged and demonized and slandered by the media, with Skip Bayless, with his white ass, Count Cracula, calling him team obliterator and all that kind of stuff. Just totally disrespectful, man. And that's why I always thought that Skip Bayless was a suspect, white supremacist. I just would catch the stuff that he'd say. He always had these nicknames for the brothers, man, but he wouldn't make up nicknames for the white boys. So that's why I always thought what I think of Skip Bayless, and I stand on that. And I'll tell Skip Bayless right to his face on camera in front of Lil Wayne and dare Lil Wayne with his Caesar syrup sipping, coke sniffing ass to do something. That was mean. That was mean. I would draw that. I would draw that comment about Lil Wayne. My bad. I ain't gonna. You know what I'm saying. But I'm just making a point. I apologize to Lil Wayne because I don't want to make fun of people and disrespect people that have Caesar. So my apologies to Lil Wayne. But you guys understand where I'm coming from. But like I said before, but T.O. was unfairly, like I said, demonized by the media. He really was. Y'all have to understand, it's just a different set of rules when it pertains to us. When we try to give it our all, and we get in our teammates' face and say, hey man, you're not doing your job, you're not blocking right, oh, it's that typical, who is this dude to tell me something, to tell me how to do, because they don't see it that way, because at the end of the day, a lot of times they don't respect black men as leaders. Yeah, I'm gonna go there. There was always good and bad with T.O. But like I said, T.O. was an exceptional receiver. But this thing with Stephen A. Smith, I'm just not good with Stephen A. Smith in any type of way. I don't respect Stephen A. Smith. That's why when I saw people defending and taking Max Kellerman's side over Stephen A. Smith, I didn't have no problem with it. Because how many times did Stephen A. Smith throw us under the bus? When he pulled that crap with Jerry Jones and tried to call himself scolding black people for just asking simple questions and asking Jerry Jones to address this and just say, hey, Jerry, why don't you just apologize? Jerry Jones didn't want to apologize. He came up with this BS excuse about he was curious about what? You knew what was going on back then. You knew what was going on. And then when reports came out that they had a previous rally a couple of days prior at another school, and they told Jerry Jones not to deal with that. It wasn't going to be a good look. He took his ass there anyway. So what was there to be curious about? What was there to be curious about, man? You went to a Jim Crow rally. Everybody saw your white ass there, and that's just the bottom line. And then Stephen A. Smith went on his show and attacked black people, like what token Sambos do on a regular basis. Him and Jason Whitlock. It's funny how him and Jason Whitlock take shots at each other, but Jason Whitlock and Stephen A. Smith is basically the same person, and you know what type of person Jason Whitlock is. But Stephen A. Smith been doing this for years. Every time he get mad at somebody, he talking about, oh, I'll expose you. I'm gonna tell on you. I'm gonna tell, like Stephen A. Snitch. Now, the funny thing is, like I keep saying with Stephen A. Smith better watch it. Because Stephen A. Smith got to remember that these basketball players, they have long bread, just like he do. And like I said, what if these players turned the ties on him and said, you know what? I got 200 grand for anybody that could dig up some dirt on Stephen A. Smith going all the way back to college or even junior high school. See, he need to be careful with that because he don't want to go that route. And then when you say, oh, I'll tell some things, I'll expose you, that kind of like makes people look at you as you're not trustworthy. You can't rely on him with confidential information. One thing about me, as I said before, doing this media stuff, as far as pertains to boxing, like I said, I know a lot of stuff, but I won't ever tell because, like I said before, people trust me with information and it needs to stay that way. But this dude, Stephen A. Smith, is constantly, always talking about what he will expose when he get mad at somebody. Now, I done had issues with other media members and threaten to tell their personal business, but that's only because I wouldn't probably do it unless it was extreme, unless they tried to do something pertaining to me, or if they don't stop screwing around with people that I'm cool with. And you know what I'm saying? My issues with other media members is because they said stuff about me and lied on me. And it got to the point to where I had to respond, just like, that lying ass John Coffey look ass nigga was lying on me, telling people behind the scenes that I ran from him when I saw him in Las Vegas, which that is a complete fucking lie. And everybody knows I was covering that fight. I was out in the open. Everybody knows when I cover fights, I'm out in the open. I film everything pretty much. And I just didn't like the fact that, people tried to lie on me. And at the end of the day, I could tell the truth, what really happened. We all, and the truth is you didn't do shit when you saw me. And you ain't gonna do shit if you see me again. So you can, keep lying. We all know you ain't gonna do shit. Just like when you saw me in Las Vegas, you didn't do shit the last time, and you ain't gonna do shit again. I'm not for real. I'm not that dude. I promise you, you ain't gonna just pull up on me. But anyway, I ain't even gonna say what I'm gonna do. But like, your best bet is to just keep walking and do what you did the last time. Not say shit, but stop lying. And that's all I got to say. Stop lying. For real, bitch. So anyway, with that being said, I felt like I had to quickly address that little situation. But dude, stop lying. Stop lying, telling people I ran from you. You ain't nobody to run from, dude. At the end of the day, for real, bro, your actions is shameful. You did some sucker shit pertaining to Bud, but we'll leave that alone. But so I kind of understand where T.O. was coming from when you have people like trying to sort of like assassinate your character. And listen, you guys, this is just real talk. You only can ignore somebody for all so long before it get to the point to where you have to respond somewhat. You know, it was like just like the situation with Floyd and 50 Cent. 50 Cent for years was talking stuff about Floyd and taking digs at Floyd, but 50 Cent is childish anyway, and he hold a grudge, when he don't get his way, and I'm not saying I'm Team Floyd as well, but it got to the point 50 Cent just kept messing with Floyd, kept bothering the man, kept talking crazy about him on social media, and then Floyd said, all right, man, well, I'll tell you what, let's do a celebrity boxing match. Me and you, let's get in the ring. Did 50 Cent accepts, and then less than a day later, he comes back, oh man, I ain't doing it. And then, of course, you had his minions, his fanboys making excuses. Well, 50 Cent is a street dude, so like, man, shut up. Don't matter. If you a street dude, you gon' you know what I'm saying? If you that dude, get in the ring. But 50 Cent knew Floyd was gonna whoop his ass. So, and 50 Cent, he one of them dudes, he can't take that humiliation. He knew Floyd would have beat his ass. So, and then 50 Cent knew, well, I'm this dude that walk around and present myself as a solid street dude and all this stuff, which is question about how solid 50 Cent is as a street dude. Because him putting restraining orders and all that stuff on Ja Rule and Murder Inc. and all that kind of stuff. So that's a question mark. But 50 Cent knew if he signed on to do this, it happens if Floyd beat him up. Well, his image as being like a bully and all this kind of stuff would suffer. And people wouldn't look at him the same because you would see all kind of memes of Floyd hitting him in the face, and if Floyd drops him, his ego wouldn't be able to take it, because at the end of the day, he promoted himself as this, ganged out street dude. So him getting beat up by Floyd would have hurt him. So that's why he backed out of it. And that's what I'm saying, the point that I'm trying to make about you only can take so much. And then another thing that T.O. said, that Stephen A. Smith or somebody with ESPN leaked the text. I'm going to tell you something. And this is real talk. I think one thing about me, when I talk to people, when people send me texts, they're not going to put on social media. I think for you to put a private text on social media that's supposed to be between you two is weak. Just like when Wallow was trying to justify him, putting online basically a text between him and Terrence Crawford. You ain't supposed to do that. And that was weak. And then Wallow said that he has a record of 7-31. I didn't even know he tried to do MMA, but Wallow, his record as an MMA fighter is 7-31. So that might be his new name, Mr. 7-31. Yeah. 7 wins, 31. And it was so funny when he said that to Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson laughed. And like, man, my brother, bro, you 7-31 is the MMA. I mean, damn. I mean, come on, man. Like, but for real. Like I said, getting back to Stephen A and T.O., I think that's the best way for them to settle it. But I guarantee you, Stephen A. Smith is gonna talk his way out of it because somebody else challenged him to a fade, and he basically talked his way out. Oh man, I ain't fighting nobody. But I'm saying if it's legally sanctioned, T.O. is 49-50. Stephen A. Smith is 55. I mean, why not? But we all know that T.O. is gonna sleep Stephen A. Smith. But at the end of the day, Stephen A. Smith ain't no street dude. So it's not going to hurt his reputation like it would somebody like 50 Cent, you know. Because with 40 Glock, that was it for him. Once he got caught slipping by the game and the game, the game's boxing skills, I'm going to just say he needs some work. But once 40 Glock got caught by the game and the game beat him up, and then he was sitting up there running, and then the game basically had to go through a lawsuit. He tried to sue the game too for that too. I think he lost his stuff in court, but he tried to sue the game. So that was it. Because keep in mind, 40 Glock was this dude presenting himself as this bully and this dude that go around like even though it was kind of funny what him and Spider Loke did to Lil Wayne, and Spider Loke did an interview with me like talking about it. It was just funny. So it hurt 40 Glock as far as the streets go. You know, his reputation took a big hit. So some people might say, hey, well, you know, it is what it is. Like one thing about me, I really don't go around like bothering people. You know, I don't go looking for trouble. But if trouble come my way, I will treat it accordingly, how I have to treat it. And that depends on what the situation is, you know. But Stephen A. Smith, he should just do it. You know, get in there, go toe-to-toe with T.O., take his ass whooping like a man and move on. I think Stephen A. Smith will get respect. Some people say, well, at least he stand on what he talk about. And he was willing to, you know, get in the ring and fight about who he is as a person. But based off the fact that he talk his way out of it, Stephen A. is the one that's always talking aggressive. He the one that's always talking like, yeah, see what I'm gonna say. See, I got something to say. And when I mean, come on, man. Will you be talking like that? When it get beyond when it get beyond just criticizing somebody and then getting personal, and then he tried to say he don't get personal. Well, what the hell was he doing with Kyrie Irving? He was getting extremely personal. But you know, Kyrie Irving got everything to lose. Kyrie Irving sees Stephen A. Smith and he socks Stephen A. Smith in the face. Okay, well, he's possibly out of the league. You know, T.O. is a retired Hall of Fame football player. So he's retired. And this, we all know, unfortunately, it's documented that T.O. had made some bad financial choices, or should I say people stole from him. You know, people that he trusted with millions of dollars stole a big portion of his money. So, you know, I don't think T.O. is, you know, T.O. said he still has some money left, but, you know, at the end of the day, he don't have what he should have had. But T.O., when he's around 55, I think that's when his pension kicks in. So he'll get his pension from the NFL, and he'll live the rest of his days out, you know, doing whatever. So he'll be fine. But Stephen A. Smith, he's brought this on himself. He's been a turncoat for years, and he said it. And based off one of his recent podcasts, where he basically said when he got fired from ESPN the first time, he felt bitter. He said nobody would hire him. He said not even BET or TB1 would hire him. But once again, Stephen A. Smith has to understand that BET is not black owned. BET hasn't been black owned since 2000. Bob Johnson started the process to sell BET back in 1999. And by 2000, the deal was completed. So BET hasn't been black owned since, technically in 23 years. I know that I know that Paramount Global allegedly was trying to sell BET, but then the asking price, what they were asking for BET and VH1, a lot of people thought was a little absurd. They were asking for $3 billion, which to me, I don't believe that was a real fair price that they were asking. I think they were asking at least for maybe $1 billion more than what it was really worth. They were trying to tax whoever wanted to buy BET, and then all of a sudden they took it off their auction because they couldn't get no buyers. And then Tyler Perry made a bid as much as $2 billion, and they felt like that wasn't enough. But then on the flip side of it, a lot of people that think that Tyler Perry should be the one to own BET. So, I digress a little bit, but I just had to bring that up about Stephen A. Smith because I'm just countering everything that he's coming with. And it needs to be countered, everything that Stephen A. Smith is coming with, because Stephen A. Smith is full of it. Way too many times, this man has showed way too much effective aggression towards black people, black athletes, scolding them, wagging his finger, telling us what we need to do as black people, what we shouldn't do. But then every time a white boy or non-black got in trouble, he was all timid, like with the Aaron Rodgers taking the potion. Then Dana White on camera, him and his wife slapping each other, didn't have the same energy. But this is a dude that went out of his way to make sure Ray Rice never played another down in the NFL again, even though the videos clearly showed that his spouse at the time tried to attack him first. Now, should he have knocked her out? No. Should he have defended himself and kept her off of? Yeah. He was talking about he was deeply disturbed by what he saw. Well, you weren't disturbed by Dana White, even though his wife put her hands on him first, which she shouldn't have did. But whatever happened to that, it's never an excuse to, you know what I'm saying, put your hands, which that's complete BS, which I'm going to talk about that later on. But anyway, appreciate you guys tapping in. I just wanted to break this down. Let it happen. Let it happen. Let somebody sanction this, and Stephen A. Smith and Terrell Owens have a celebrity boxing match. But I got 100 on Terrell Owens by devastating knockout. Anyway, this your boy Town. I'm out.